Welcome back to We Are Tottenham TV, the only place to be on match day. And at the minute, it's just the two of us. It's just Jimbo and I, but we do have other people joining us later. I hope if they can be brave enough to come and face the therapy that is Tottenham Hotspur against Manchester City. And our first arrival is already here. Nick's arrived to join us as well. Jimbo, first of all, how are you doing? How are you feeling?
Yeah, I'm good. Thanks. Looking forward to the game.
Good. That's what we like to hear. Nick, how are you, sir? Laughing away there.
Not your usual over-the-top intro, Jim, man, which makes me a little bit worried, man. I think you've seen the injury list update just like the rest of us, and it's not giving you a whole lot of confidence, right, man? But I'm Kate. I mean, it's still cold out here. It's colder than a football chairman's heart out here still, but we're getting through it, you know?
Wow, that is cold.
But, I have my reservations. I got my reservations. But how are you guys?
Yeah, all good here. Definitely got reservations, but you know what? We can only do what we can do. But big up to everyone who is joining us in the chat. We're actually dual streaming with Kate and mine and Jimbo's channel as well today. So big up to everyone. Please do smash the like, subscribe, hit the notifications bell, blah, 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 and get all that done.
Can I just say something before we start?
Right? Yes.
I've seen people saying online, on YouTube, on X, on wherever, and in the chat here, that we need to lose this game. I don't think that everybody realises, if you go and look at the table, right, we're 15th. How close we are to the relegation. This is a must-win game for us. You know, we've got all the other teams on our backside as well, apart from West Ham, 8 points behind, which Chelsea done us a massive favour yesterday. But we're drawing into that relegation quick as every week goes by. So we need to get behind them today, and we need this win. It doesn't matter about Arsenal. I'm not going to swear, but F Arsenal, let's just get the points on the board for us.
Yeah, I mean, Nick, how do you feel about this? Because there's been a lot of talk about this all week. I've heard people calling up Talk Sports saying that they don't want to win this game. I mean, what are your thoughts on all this malarkey?
My thoughts are, right off the bat, there's a lot of people with really poor senses of humor, that they really are looking for some things to say. And, they'll just say, well, that's something I can say. It'll get a rise out of somebody. But in actuality, I don't think that when you look at the state of this club right now and the state of our performances, we can't afford to be dropping any points. February is very difficult. We've been on and on it since the end of December of how bad this month is. And getting any kind of result, even a resolute performance today, some kind of a result, even 1 point for me right now is a kick on to the rest of this month. Because if we tank it today, the rest of this month is going to be an uphill climb like we've never seen before. And we think it's bad now. It's going to get a hell of a lot worse if we don't put in some kind of performance today.
Yeah, look, I agree. I've always said I love my club more than I hate any other club. So, for me, it's a no-brainer. We have got to win today because, like Jimbo said, Forest were winning. They were on the same points as us. Luckily, it's 1-1 at the minute, and they're down to 10 men. But we are gradually, the gap is getting smaller between us and the bottom three. It's quite scary. And yes, I am the one who called Alex Crook salty, if that's what you mean. But look, somebody put it in the chat. We are 4th in the Champions League group, and yet we sit 14th in the Premier League. So I think it's kind of safe to say that the European competition is again papering over the cracks of what's going on in the Premier League. If we do win this today, this will be our 10th Premier League double over City. We've obviously beat Man City more than, or Pep Guardiola more than any other team, which is quite frightening. Nick, do you think it is just a case of we are their bogey team? I know it's kind of a weird thing to say, but it seems like everyone's got one.
Let me throw some names at you. Oscar Bob, Savinho. When was the last time we bought a player off a City? Can you remember?
No.
But yeah, I don't think Pep likes us. You may be shock horror right there, but I don't think Pep Guardiola likes us. And Pep Guardiola, his family, his cousin, his brother, his uncle, they are in charge. They are heavily involved in how the City Group is run. And I don't think I think we heard right when the cracks were starting to appear in his facade, one of the first things he said is what he wants to do. He wants to score at Tottenham. We have been in his head for years and years now, and I think that has a lot to do with it. I think that it filters into the dressing room, and it certainly goes to how Pep approaches these particular games. So I think the bogey team thing for everybody does have a bogey team for whatever it is, whether it's karma or whether it's the actual history of the results. And I think that we have confidence going into these games. We already beat them one time this year, 2-0. They did not score. There's no reason we can't do that again, I think, but we have to be pulling together on that pitch.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, Jim, I do think we are most definitely their bogey team. We've only got to go back to the Champions League when we went to the final and that game where it was topsy-turvy. And I think you see it in Pep's face. If we score first or when we score, you see Pep's face of kind of resignation. However, Spurs are going into this game in really, really poor league form. That's got to play a part, surely.
Look, I think a lot of it is to do with Kate, is the way that City play. I think they're quite, if you draw them in, they're quite an open team. You can get at them. And when we had Sonny and Kane and people like Dele Alli, they could get at them and they were quick on the transition. Right? And especially Sonny, he was like a little rat up a drain pipe, wasn't he? But I think to myself, this team we got now, I'm not sure it's going to be that way. I don't think they're quick enough on the transition, right? Obviously, I'm going to back Spurs to win, but they're going to have to be really on it to win today. They are. We haven't got the players we had, the last few seasons, like even last season, when you had Madders, Kulu, it was different. I'm not sure especially without Kudos, he's out as well. I think it's going to be a difficult game today. I really do.
Yeah, but Jim, we do have Solanke back. We do have Solanke back, and particularly against these time and time again, some player seems to step up. I mean, I remember 2 seasons ago, we didn't have Kane. And it was Kulusevski. Nobody thought that Kulusevski was going to show up and be the thorn in Pep's side, and he did. And after the game, he goes, "Oh, what a player!" It's cometh the time, cometh the player, is what I say. And last time we played him, it was Paulinho, frankly, who stepped up and showed what kind of a professional, what kind of a leader and professional that he really is, too. I'm hoping I see him on the pitch again, and I hope he instills the same kind of fear. We've got Christian Romero in there. He instills fear in the Man City front line time and time again. I think we do have the tools. It's just going to have to be, do they believe in themselves together on that pitch?
Yeah, I mean, talking to Christian Romero, we've also got Van der Ven, who we've been told is touch and go as to whether he starts today. I mean, he's been not only a beast at the back, but him and Romero have been our main sources of goals, apart from Richarlison this season. Nick, are you going to worry if he's not in, or have you got faith in Danso to kind of step in if needed?
I'm good. Is Danso playing? Because from what I've been hearing, as far as this thing is concerned, because I've heard all across the board right now. So as the only thing confirmed right now I can hear is that's new is Spence, but I've heard there's a problem with Danso. If we've got no left backs to play, or if we've got no other options, no right backs, and we have to shuffle around, I'm hoping I see Mickey Van der Ven. I hope I see him anyway. I don't think Thomas Frank has the nous to play that injury list, mind games kind of stuff that Mourinho does. Even Conte used to do. So I hope that he's not trying to do that, because he needs to concentrate on just getting the tactics right, getting the team behind him. But I fully hope and I expect to see Mickey Van der Ven on that pitch, because without Jed Spence, we're much weaker defensively on that back line, without a doubt.
Yeah, I mean, Jed Spence against Frankfurt midweek, I thought he was excellent. I thought he was a real contender for man of the match. He looked really good. I didn't know about Spence. That's the first I've heard. I mean, I've got definitely out Madders, Kudos, Kulu, Davis, Porro, Bergvall, Richie, Bentancur. Is Spence definitely out, is he?
Just listen to what I was listening to before we came on here. Mr. Simon Hill, who I believe is actually pretty accurate sometimes. No Danzo, VDV, or Spence. Look, I'm hoping you're lying to me just to get a rise, but but that could be the case right now. From what I've heard, it's no Spence.
So there is a possibility, Jimbo, that we could see Sousa make his debut for Spurs today.
Well,
I mean, Ronnie's saying 12 out today. Spence, Davis, Porro, Danso, Van der Ven, Bentancur, Bergvall, Odebert, Kulu, Madders, and Richie.
Jeez, I think we're going to have to get Ange to play right back. It's going to come down to that, man. He's got a job right now. He's got history in that position.
I mean, Jimbo, what was you going to say? Sorry.
I was watching their training sessions with Sousa, and he looks decent. He's he was on it in the training, but look, he's come from Brazilian football to the Premier League, so we'll see. I mean, let's just what I've read about and what I've seen the experts talk about Sousa. He's got a bit of everything, and they're saying that he could make the Brazilian team for the World Cup. So that tells you something. That Ancelotti really likes him.
Yeah.
So let's hope that he comes in and as a stormer. He might be the one you're talking about, Nick.
Cometh the time, cometh the player, man, and it could be right now. If he's fit and we don't have anybody, put him on, man. What else? What other options do we have?
I mean, what is going on? I was on a show this morning and we was talking about the injuries at Spurs, and there's so many theories with people saying that it's really hard under the pitch because it's built where the old stadium used to be. And then Lou, the girl that I streamed with, she said she thinks it's the scheduling. I mean, the amount of injuries we've got, Nick, it is ridiculous. Do you think it is just down to the fact that there's just so many games now?
I think that has a lot to do with it, and I think we put a lot of blame on the medical team. But have we not sacked multiple medical teams since Conte? I mean, it's like we go through at least one or two every single season, so that can't be it. It can't be just the medical team because it's not the same medical team. Hasn't been. So I think that the pace of Postecoglou's football had something to do with it, but clearly it's not just that. So I don't know if it's some hoodoo, if there's a Gooner kit stuck in the cement somewhere. There's always been rumors. There's been rumors. But something else is going on that needs to be looked at with a microscope right now. And I actually think that part of Thomas Frank's remit from the board starting out was to get fewer injuries, and that's part of the whole rotation scheme that he started with. I 100% agree or think that was why we saw so much rotation. But even that proves to not be working. So I don't know how we stop the bleeding. Literally.
I know. It's bonkers. I mean, Jimbo, is there truth in this? I mean, a lot of people were criticising Ange's training methods last season and the season before. However, we've got a new manager now and we're still getting as many injuries as ever. What is going on? I think we've been cursed.
I haven't got a clue, Kate. But look, if you look at most of the squads in the Premier League now, all the injuries are up in with most of them. But we're just exceptionally unlucky. I don't know, Kate. I don't see how it can be the pitch because the pitch retracts. So it can't be, you see what I'm saying? It can't be the old underneath it. So I don't know. And as Nick said about the medical teams, we've changed the medical teams. This lot that come in now are meant to be fantastic, but it don't look like that way. But look, if someone's got an injury, they only can come back when they're ready.
Yeah.
No matter what medical team, what the medical team do, if their body fixes when it fixes, some people fix faster than others.
Yeah, this is true. The Tottenham lineup's not out just yet, but Man City have put their lineup out, and they've got Donnarumma in goal. They've got Nunez, Kusanov, Mark Gay, Out Nori, Rodri's back today, whoopee. Bernardo Silva, Nico O'Reilly, Antoine Semenyo, Ryan Cherky, and Erling Haaland. And on the subs bench, they've got Trafford, Reinders, Kay Marmouche, Nico Foden, Mikaido, Alien, and Lewis. I mean, Nick, not a bad team.
It's a strong squad right there, man. Listen, Kuzanov, Gay's just new to the team. Kuzanov, I'm not sure what kind of a player he is really. I haven't seen too much of him. I think that there's a way to get at that back line, without a doubt. And it's not their strongest. Their strongest defenders seem to be injured right now, but it's not something that I get a whole lot of confidence in, but I am a Tottenham supporter. And when we go in very confident is when I start to get really, really nervous. So, I think when you look at their front line, that is what I'm worried about. The last time we came up against Semenyo, he did nothing all day long, except right at the end where he spoiled our picnic right there. So, we got to be on them like a fly on, something. And
yes.
It's gonna. I think we're gonna have to go press hard right from the out. We're not gonna have to, give them respect. We're gonna have to make things very, very uncomfortable. And there's one person that I think can do that. Okay, our lineup's out, so lay it on us, Miss Kate.
Our lineup is out. We've got Vicario in goal. Dragushin starts. Paulinia, Xavi, Basuma starts. Udogi, Gray, Romero Solanke, Gallagher, and Kolo Muani as well. And then on the bench, we've got Kinski, Tell, Odegaard, Sarr, Souza, Oluwese, Kira Mayton, Byfield, and Rosewell. Jim, thoughts on the team?
Hey, can you read the subs out again?
I can. It is Kinski, Tell, Odegaard, Sarr, Souza, Oluwese, Kira Mayton, Byfield, and Rosewell.
So are we going to play the guess the formation game right here? Because here's another head scratcher right here.
Well, I'm thinking
it's a back three with Paulinia. Paulinia playing center back. Yeah. Which
that's what it looks like.
I guess needs must. Yeah, and Frank is feeling very nervous about the solidity with the injuries that we do have, Spence and Van de Ven in particular. Needs Tell not starting, Odegaard not starting. I don't know where our creativity and our goals are coming from, other than Xavi. And maybe somebody like a Paulinia stepping up out of nowhere and coming with it.
I wonder if he's going to play Solanke and Muani both up front, or if he's going to put Muani on the wing.
Up top, 3 in the back, 2 up top. I think you might have something right there.
Yeah. I mean, Jim, what's your thoughts?
Well, I mean, I just despair with this board. not buying players, unless they're going to do something in the last day that's like pull some rabbits out of the hat. I mean, they've set this guy up to fail. I'm sorry, they have. They could see the injuries were there at the beginning of the window, and as the window's gone on, there's been more injuries, and they just haven't backed him, have they?
No.
They brought in a 19-year-old that's never played at this level, and they brought in Gallagher, which I love Gallagher, but they just haven't backed him, have they? I mean, I haven't got a clue, Kate, with this team how we're going to do against City. I mean, it depends how much they're up for it. I can't even guess the formation they're going to do there. I can't.
Big up, Ash.
I'm sure Ash will have
the man himself, Insomniac, brought up something too, man, that I forgot is a possibility. What do you think, Ash? Gray at right back?
Yeah. Great right back. Big up, guys. Thanks for being on.
Big up, Ash. Thanks for turning up. I won't mention where you were.
Listen, I haven't been well, but I'm here.
Oh, I'll let you off then. I feel guilty now.
Yeah. Wow. I think, maybe there's been some illnesses as well in the camp or something. The reason why so many
people
players
are dropping like flies. Yeah. I mean,
that's what I heard. That's what I heard. Like coming into the game,
there's an illness.
Yeah, that's what I heard coming into the game. So now I'm seeing it. I'm like, okay, so the rumor was true then.
They're serving lasagna again.
It could be. I know Mickey was touch and go. Anyway,
Yeah.
Mickey Van der Ven was touch and go, and he said he's won the grass, whatever. But yeah, Gray, I think
No Danso, no Spence.
Yeah, exactly. That was the one that was the shock. But that's the rumor that was going around, that Spence might not be fit to play. So then, yeah, Gray playing at right back would make sense. Jagisham filling in, Romero play possibly at left-sided centre back. If I remember right, I can't remember the last game it was when Van der Ven was missing, but Romero had to play as a left-sided centre back, and then Jagisham played as a right-sided centre back to partner him. But yeah, the doggy's fit, so we'll play a back four, in my opinion. Yeah. And maybe at times you'll see Gray tuck in, or just overlap, or like I said, he played at Leeds there. So, and the rest of the team picks itself. Moani up top, Moani on the left. Oh, Solanke starts. Okay, so Moani.
Well, unless he plays two up top.
Yeah, a lot of people are saying a 3-5-2.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah, you know what, Kate, can you bring up Ronnie's again, because that's real interesting. I think that may be the solution right there, and it's getting the best out of a bad situation, if that is it.
Yeah, three at the back: Romero, Radu, and Polini out. Doggy left wing back, Gray right wing back, two in the middle: Biss, Gallagher, Xavi number 10, two up top: Moani and Solanke. I mean,
do you know what, Kate? Do you know what? There's one thing about this team, right? I've learned over the last few months is when you think they're going to get cooked, they turn up and play well and get a result. So I'm not ruling anything out. It's happened a few times this season where we thought the team is picked, oh my God, we're in trouble, and they've gone out there and played the Stormer. So I'm just going to keep my fingers crossed for that. Well,
I hope you're right. I mean, Ash, I'm going to ask you the same question. Obviously, finishing fourth in the Champions League, being 14th in the Premier League, Champions League form clearly papering over the cracks. Two questions. First of all, did you want us to win today, or is there any part of you that wants us to lose? Because we've had people say they want us to lose. And the second question is, why are we so much better in Europe than we are in the Premier League at the minute?
Yeah, no, I want us to win. Simple as that. But I understand people that maybe are a bit upset because we didn't beat teams like Wolves. We had chances to beat West Ham, so now we've let it get to this, people argue it's early in the season, but at the same time, with Arsenal, I get it, because before the points gap was like 4 points. They dropped points. They had a chance to kind of, make it 10 points, or 9 points, and they lost against United. And essentially, if we lose, then we give him that 7-point gap again. Because I'll be real, when Friday I saw a few Arsenal fans I bumped into. I know quite a few anyway, but just ones that I don't know. And they say they recognize me, like, oh yeah, you do the YouTube thing, whatever. Come on, make sure you lose, yeah. Like they're cheering us on. So, do you know what I'm saying? That's what I'm getting at. Outside of YouTube in the real world. So fans, they want Tottenham to win. So I kind of get where some people's heads are at, because the banter is there as well. Mind games is getting on. But if obviously you're not around that, you're not getting that, then. But I still personally want Spurs to win. Anyway, I think the difference between Champions League and what's his name mentioned it as well from Newcastle, Gordon. He said Premier League's more physical, up and down basketball, whereas in the Champions League they allow you to play a lot more football. So that's where we get more time and space on the ball. We're not being pressed as much. Players like Xavi, seeing him have his best performances back to back. One against Dortmund, once against Frankfurt. Obviously, ironically, he played in the Bundesliga where he did get those high numbers. And then also, you've got to look at the route that we had as well. We had a favourable route, if I'm being honest, compared to some other teams, where 3 of the teams or 4 of the teams didn't qualify into that last 16. And then the other few teams that we did play they didn't qualify into automatic 8. It was only PSG. Actually, no, PSG didn't make it to final 8 either.
No, they didn't.
So there you go. But it doesn't mean that, you know, they didn't become eventual winners, because last season PSG didn't finish in the last 8 and they still won. But essentially, I think it's because you've seen like the Premier League teams. I think it was 8 teams, 8 of our team, or 6 of our teams that have qualified into that final 16. So that tells you everything, right? The golfing class is there. Do you know what I mean? Regardless of what people think of Spurs against Premier League oppositions, we've been chopping and changing a formation. Do you know what I mean? It's only recently we found this back three, and that seems to be working. So, but again, I wouldn't be surprised if we revert back to the back four, guys. I'm being honest. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if we, because of those illnesses, I wouldn't be surprised if we didn't go back to a 4-2-3-1, and then people would be unhappy if we did and we lost. Equally, if we went to a back three, people would be unhappy. You can't win, really.
No.
But I think people give gratitude because it's Man City, because of the illnesses, and we've got, you know, how many players. Before with this game, it was 13 players out, and now it's going to be like 15, 16.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, Jim, we've sat many a time and said the way to get at City is to just go at them. They don't like it when you go at them. However, because of, like Ash said, because of the situation we're in with injuries and illness, if we sit back and basically kind of park the bus and just try and get them on the counter, even if we lose, is that going to give... If we win or lose, are the fans still going to moan? Because it's not going to be pretty if we do that, let's be fair. But at the same time, he's only got a limited squad to work with.
I don't think we've got the players to get them on the counter, Kate.
Yeah.
At this minute, I don't think we have. So it's sitting back and trying to get them on the counter is, I think, just hanging yourself. I've always said that if you go at City, they don't like it. They like you to sit back so they can work around you with their slick passing and their crosses in. So I've always said that if you go at City, you've got a chance of getting some joy. But look, at the end of the day, I'm not being funny. I'm going to be brutally honest. If City turn up, this is going to be such a difficult game for us. Right? We're going to really have to be on it and be 100%. But if City, like they have been, I've seen in the last few months, they're in and out. You know, they play well for a certain few, for 15, 20 minutes. Then they seem to drift out of games. You know, it depends on what Tottenham do. You know, they got to be up for it. But I've always said with City, you need to go at them. You know, if you remember with Kane, Son, you know, we always went at them and always got joy. So I just don't think sitting back with City, I don't know what the other guys think. I think you're just setting yourself up to lose.
Yeah, I mean, Nick, what do you make of that? Because a lot of people have said that Frank always goes out to draw rather than to win. He's had a lot of criticism of that.
Sets up not to lose. Yeah, and that's what you see, and that's what, you know, that's why we're bored to tears, you know, for the majority of the season, except for a few matches recently. This particular lineup that we're starting with, I think it's set up to be as defensively solid as possible, but it's also set up to be more physical and more in your face. And I think, I'm hoping, if I'm playing, you know, the mind reader right now, for the first half, that's what we got to do. We got to go in there and press heavy consistently for 45 minutes and make it very, very uncomfortable, and then try to bring on a little more skill and nimbleness in the second half with Odegaard and Tell. The fact that they're both still on the bench means I highly expect us to be seeing them early in the second half, and he has a first half plan. As far as the fans are concerned, depending on what type of football we see, those who know and have seen the injury update right now, I think any kind of a result is going to have to come and appear to be, you know, okay. It's not going to piss you off if we get a draw or, you know, just pull off a miracle or something like that, even if it is a little bit of a defensive. I just don't think we can beat this City team by going out and being a sit back, break on the counter, wait for them to make a mistake situation. That's not how we beat Pep Guardiola ever. We've never done that, you know? So I think if we do go out like that, if we do approach this game like that, I think the result's going to write itself, and then fans are going to be pissed off.
Yeah. I mean, Ash, obviously City, we just looked at their team. They've got Semenyo, Cherki and Haaland. It makes me laugh because their team is just so good. How do we stop those from scoring, do you think?
Well, it's interesting. I was reading the comments, and they're talking about us pressing and looking at the lineup. Basuma, he's been out for a while, and I think he's been solid defensively. But in terms of being pressed, in terms of pressing and intensity, I would have thought he would have gone for Sarr. That would have been a better choice and profile in terms of pressing. So I'm a bit, I get it, and I'm like, maybe he should have gone with Sarr. Do you know what I mean? Instead of Basuma. That's my thinking. So I don't really know the game.
But you do have a Gallagher in there, and you do have a Paulinho who both can press pretty hard.
Yeah, you do.
Be in their faces, and maybe Basuma's in there just to try to progress the ball a little bit more when you have those other two in the midfield.
Yeah.
Or in the back.
You're right, but I'm just like, for Man City, I think I expect Man City to have a lot of the ball. You're right. Gallagher can press. But just City again. Like, how do you prevent? They're gonna have a lot of the ball. Cherki can have a lot of the ball. I haven't seen the lineup. I thought it was going to be Reinders. Was Reinders started? Reinders started.
He's on the bench. Reinders. You've
Bernardo Silva.
Bernardo.
Yeah, okay. Donnarumma, Nunez, Kusanov, Gay, Outnori, Rodri, Silva, O'Reilly, Semenya, Cherki, and Haaland. You've got Reinders on the bench with Ake, Marmouche, Nico, Foden. Is that Makaido?
Yeah, Makaido,
Alien, Lewis, and Trafford. So
I expect Silva obviously he'll be playing on the ball a lot. He'll dominate. They've got those type of midfielders that just want the ball all the time, and they're quite fluid, so they're able to chop and change. Where sometimes Chucky might drift in at times, Silva will be able to pull out wide, or they've even got the fullbacks or wing backs, if that makes sense, with their youngster Rico Lewis, and they've got the other guy as well, besides your Bob here. He's quite good as well. They're both comfortable and able to get forward. So it'll be very interesting to see how we deal with that. But there is a protest happening in the actual stadium. So apparently there's going to be a walkout 75 minutes. So if the game does get a bit, beyond us and it doesn't go to plan and Frank's tactics don't go right, then I think it's the 75th minute.
It is, but but the media will spin that Tottenham fans are leaving because the game's done. If we're 3-0 down, because people leave, So this is my problem with a walkout. If you're losing 3-0, like I say, the media will spin it that way. If the game's on a knife edge and it's 2-2, who on earth wants to walk out at 75th minute? And the team will suffer if the 12th man walks away. So there's different ways of looking at it. But I mean, let's be honest. If the game is dead and buried by then, the media will just spin it that Tottenham fans are headed to the exit because the game's done. So
Well, do you think even at 1-0 they would still spin it?
Yeah. They're going to spin it to try to make us look bad any way you slice it.
Yeah. I mean, we've got to touch on that, Nick, while we're talking about the protest. It's the last day of the transfer window tomorrow. Not a single attacking player has been brought in. Brennan Johnson went on the first day of the transfer window. I mean, we got made these promises by Vinay and his lovely worded statement, and that was done on AI. That's what everyone keeps telling me. Do you see us bringing anyone before the end of business tomorrow?
I'm not going to be surprised if we make a last-ditch effort and throw some money at somebody somewhere. That's what I'm expecting, actually. Although I'm also not going to be surprised if we don't, because as we've heard from a lot of people who have their ear into the boardroom, in the back end, there is that this board has no idea what to do now that everything's gone to shit. Their idea was to back this manager, and everything will be rosy, and the fans will like it. But now, the players, the dressing room, they haven't been behind him. There's been visible on TV live before us all, things that make you think, well, nobody wants to play for this guy right now. So they, they're money people. Why are we going to throw money at this guy when we're obviously going to have to get rid of him? That's what I think, just as Joe Schmuck from around the corner. That's where I'm adding things up. And I wouldn't be surprised if our transfer policy has reverted to just, we're going to wait and see and fix it all in June. So
Yeah.
not going to be surprised if we do throw somebody. I don't think it's going to fix the problem. Not going to be surprised if we don't. Unfortunately,
Yeah, I
it's
mean,
terrible place to be right now, Kate.
It really is. I mean, Jimbo, there seems to be no real rumours even that Tottenham. I mean, there was a slight link to Mateta, who's come out today. He's going to be going to Milan by all accounts. There seems to be nothing. Do you see us bringing anyone in tomorrow?
Well, I tell you what, I have noticed that every single manager that comes to this club always says in the transfer window, but if they're not going to make our team stronger, we're not going to buy them. A repeat on Spurs. But
yeah, and it's funny how they put that statement out midway through the transfer window. When before the transfer is, we've got this war chest, we're making moves, we're going to push the club forward. But now, everything's a little shaky now, and it's we don't want to spend the money unless it's really going to do something. Yeah, we've heard.
I don't agree with that. If they're thinking of getting rid of Frank, that's why they haven't bought anyone. But if you buy the right profile players, the next manager comes in and be able to work with them.
Yeah, I agree with that 100% as well. But you also, for that model to work, you also have to have a director. You have to have somebody behind the manager that is organizing the team in a long-term scope that's going to push it forward. And I don't believe that we have that either.
No.
Yeah,
that guy went back to Italy.
I mean, look, in all the years, 55 years I've supported this club, I think this season has been the most down I've been with it. The most disconnected I felt from the club. I've never, well, you've known me for 25, 26 years. Have you ever known me like this?
No.
I just feel very, disconnected. I feel very lost with it all because I can't see anything on the pitch, a pattern on the pitch. I can't see a pattern with the way the club's going. I just can't see where it's heading. The only place I can see it heading is backwards. And I mean, we've been in tough times before, but at least we had managers that you knew what their philosophy was, and we had owners that you knew exactly what they were going to do. Even Daniel Levy, when he was in charge, you knew roughly from year to year what you were going to get from him. But with this lot, all I see is a lot of put out a statement and talk and do nothing behind it. And maybe they're waiting for the summer to do the big moves and sort it all out. I don't know, but I was so disappointed with this window. I can't express how disappointed I am with it. I really thought that they would make some good moves and help this guy out, but they haven't. And you can blame Frank as much as you like, but at the end of the day, it goes higher than Frank. If they don't give him the players, he's got between 10 and 15 injuries. If you bring them players back and they're all working, we're not where we are. So you can blame Frank to a certain point, but it's them shitheads up above, not doing their job. I mean, look, at the end of the day, for me, to have an Arsenal guy in our club running things is despicable that they took him from Arsenal and brought him to us. And I know it's business, but inside him, he's Arsenal. And he's in Tottenham Hotspur. I mean, that just says it all to me.
This is a poor City side. I'd like their side. I mean, Ash, have you, obviously Lookman as well, a lot of people wanted him. He's going, I think, to Atletico Madrid, if I remember rightly. Have you heard anything? Do you expect any movement? Because we are so short of creativity in this team. It's frightening.
Yeah, there's a few rumours going around. Obviously, Monaco are trying to loan a player. Can't remember the guy's name, but that might open up the door for Al-Khalouche, who plays predominantly on the right-hand side, but can play in the midfield. But at this point, beggars can't be choosers, really. I can't be like, oh, but he plays in this position. Like, we kind of need bodies the way things are, I think. And it might uplift the fans. Because I think having a director of football, be it all, it's not the most popular guy. He's meant to be the one that picks the managers and picks the players. And so if the manager does go, the players that he does pick, another manager can come and pick it up. The problem is, at the moment, the last few appointments have been different philosophies in terms of managers. And so that's why we've got a mishmash of styles in our team, and it's not coherent. And maybe that's the reason why we are where we are in the season. So
that's like a direction, Ash, from above. They should be taking the club by the scruff of the neck, right? Sitting down with a manager and saying, right, we're going to head this way. This is what we're going to do, right? Like they did with Ange. But then they sack Ange and they bring in a manager like Frank. It just doesn't make
continuity.
sense.
No continuity.
There's no direction there. There's no one grabbing the club by the balls and saying, right, we're going to head this way. But at least with Levy, you knew where he was going and what he was doing. Right? There's nothing with this lot. You know what?
Yeah.
What? Just hit it on the head. They got a front foot manager and then bringing a defensive manager. You know, it's.
So I think basically what they thought, what they would do different from the previous owner was, I think with Levy, he went like heavily youth-centric. And his idea was always to buy players to eventually sell them on. Even if you look at Jermaine Genius, we bought Jermaine Genius, he's English, he was young. Do you understand? And his idea is that we buy him not on a high wage, you know, like a lower wage. And then eventually, if they do come good, you can sell them on to keep the value. And I think with this new appointment, they wanted to move away from that and buy players that are ready now, or at least you can pay them a higher wage and they can start in that starting 11. I think that's where the philosophy had changed. So we had a mixture of philosophies where with Archie Gray, we had Bergvall, and we had Oderbert and Tell. And so you've got lots of young players. And unfortunately, because we had so many injuries, they had to start. And they weren't coming into an environment like, you know, like Man City, they've got a world of experience and quality. So you can bring in players that are young, that will bet in, because it's a happy home. They're doing well. They're not going to suffer. Whereas Tottenham, we're not quite there. And then we went for that model. And then those young players now, people are like, is Tell good enough? And at the time, is Archie Gray good enough? Bergvall was making mistakes. Do you understand? You can see they've got quality, but then we didn't have quality around them. So I think the new direction of the ball, we're like, right, we're going to buy for this manager. Remember, Thomas was like, I need players that are proven. I need players that have that quality now. Problem was the style of player was slightly different, or the profile of player was slightly different to maybe what we needed. Because I think those younger players are a lot more technical than players like Paulinho. Paulinho, off the ball, he's a monster. He's a beast. But is he going to be the person to get on the half turn? Is he the person that can pass through the lines? No, and that's something we struggled through this season. Do you know what I mean? So then I think there's a mix and mash. And also, I think when they brought Frank in, they thought he was going to be the halfway house between being pragmatic defensively and then still be able to attack. Unfortunately, I think Frank's a bit too methodical, where he was hoping he could work on the structure first, and then those attacking patterns could come through a little bit later, because he saw the overall arching problems where we were letting in too many goals. We're still letting in too many goals, and the players he's bringing in, him and Langer, haven't been up to the level and up to the standards where most fans expect us to be. So I think that's what explains it all, really. I'm not happy, you're not happy, and we're having a discussion before the game, really, when it should be about the football, but we're talking about the whole mess, the whole circus, because of games like West Ham, you know what I'm saying? Games like Wolves, like these games, Nottingham Forest, it still hurts, let alone the display against Arsenal, which didn't show up at all. Chelsea, another game, do you know what I mean? The list goes on. But like going into this game, you're looking at like Semenyo. Do you remember what Semenyo did to us the last minute? Like,
yeah.
that we're going to be nervous of that, things like that. Will we give him too much space and time and respect? You know, luckily for us, Stocky got injured, but then they've got Cherky to come in. Haaland, we know he's a problem. His last game he scored, we're like, oh, geez, is he coming back into form? We look at their bench. We know what their bench can do. Mamouche, we were linked with him. What a player he would be at Spurs if we were able to get in. There was all question marks about Moani and stuff. Is he a player that's going to turn up for us? I think with Moani, it's a bit like Tel. They both want to be the main number 9. Solanke's come back in, and they're being pushed out of position. And so they're unhappy, saying, oh, I'm not playing in my favourite position. However, people start happy with Moani because he doesn't look like he's doing much in the game. He's not impacting the game enough, do you know what I mean, to warrant any complaints. But those rumours have been pushed saying that, you know, he wasn't not happy. He's happy to be here. So I don't know what's going on, what's true and what's not. But either way, sometimes Frank goes to a 4, like 2 up front. When he goes 2 up front, we spam crosses in where our fullbacks typically can't cross the ball. Do you know what I mean? Porro can, but he's not playing. Do you know what I mean? Spence can cross. The doggy can't cross. So then you're like, what's the point of the system? And you're looking at the manager sideways. Do you know what I mean? Then we haven't got a player that can pass through the lines, and then you're like, well, where's the hope? So, I get it, man. That's what I get it.
I mean, someone just said, looks like the teams around us are picking up points. At the minute, Villa are losing 1-0 to Brentford. Man United 2-1 up against Fulham, and Forest and Palace are both drawing 1-1. So it's frightening when you're watching the Forest games and the Leeds games and praying that they lose. I mean, Tottenham Hotspur should not be doing that. It's just how the mighty have fallen, shall we say. Now comes the time. Sorry, I got waylaid thinking about something completely different then. For people to give us your score predictions for today, which is a tough one because I had a score prediction in my head, but after seeing the team and hearing the news, I am going to change it. I'm going to flip-flop all over the place today, and I don't care who knows it. Vladaholic says 3-1 Spurs, easy. Nambo says 3-1 to Spurs as well. Captain Cupcake coming in with a 5-0 Manchester City win. I did have, big up Alan, I did have Tottenham to draw this 2-2. However, after seeing the team and hearing all about the other injuries that I didn't know about and whatnot, I am going to do City to win this 3-1. I'm ever so sorry, people, to come in with a negative scoreline. I know, but it's not a pump up.
Jim, have a word.
They should change the channel. Change the name to pre-match therapy. Oh, it is pre-match therapy. Oh, yeah.
So I can say it now. But you know, the funny thing is, Nick, you say have a word. He probably won't talk to me now for the rest of the day because I've just predicted a City win.
I was in bed last night talking, and I said to her, when we do the pump up tomorrow, do not say Tottenham to lose because it's terrible. And she said, no, I won't. I've got it in my head 2-2. And you've just got a flip-flop.
I have, because you know why? The lineup is so weak and theirs is so strong.
Well,
I just can't.
I said earlier, Kate, sometimes that happens, right? And then they go out and play a blinder. You've got to go with the faith. You've got to be what's in your heart. Spurs is in your heart, not City, and you've done City to win. You should be ashamed of yourself.
Jimbo, I'm not like you. I don't live in cuckoo land.
Yourself.
Well, it's caused the domestic, if nothing else. But just made me laugh. Ash, what are you expecting the score to be on today's game?
Yeah, no, I hear what Kate's saying. I hear what Jim's saying as well. Because remember when we had Dragushin last time, I think we had Dragushin, or was it Ben Davies as well? And we were at home. We managed to beat them. It was Dragushin with the ball over the top or something. I remember there was a flick on, and then before you know it, Johnson, unfortunately, he's not here, you know. Johnson ends up scoring, I remember. Johnson was sold. One of our top goal scorers, whether we like him or not. That threat and running behind, like you said, those transition moments aren't there. We don't really have a transitional team at the moment, if we're looking at the squad. You never know. We could stink it out, though. We could stink it out, Jim. You're right. We could stink it out. It could be a horrible, horrible performance, but who cares if we can get that 1-0 win? That would be brilliant. 1-0 win to Spurs at home. That would be a complete upset. I think everyone is expecting us to lose. But listen, when it comes to City, for some weird reason, we are their weakness. We are their kryptonite. I don't know. I don't get it. But if we lose, I don't think fans will be mad. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I hear you.
To get it, that's where my head's at the moment.
Yeah.
That's where my realism steps in. But yeah, it's weird, Kate. I don't know. We just seem to beat them no matter what.
I know.
But to be fair to you, I can't remember. That was the last time we beat them back to back in both seasons, home and away.
I don't know, but the last 2 times they've played us in the Premier League at the Tottenham Stadium, they've won. They can't beat us at the Etihad, but at our stadium they have won. So,
and our record at home this season
is dreadful,
horrible.
If we was going there, I would have predicted us to get something out of this game 1,000,000%.
Yeah, and our fans at the moment, I don't know, our match-going fans, different to Europe. Because I went to the European game, fans were buzzing. It was like a younger crowd. I see people wearing leather jackets, women wearing fur jackets with leopard print on. I was like, okay, this is a different vibe. Energy's a bit different. People drinking gin and tonics. I was like, oh, maybe this could be a thing to see that for the future. But yeah, the match going fans on the weekend, it's a different vibe altogether. And let's see if they get behind the fans. Let's see if they get behind them. Obviously, as I said earlier, there's a protest brewing in that. So us going into the game, having a walkout at 75th minute, I'll be interested to see like how they behave, innit? But yeah, man, that's my answer, bro.
What's the score going to be, Ash? You've got to stop sitting on the fence and
1-0.
give us your score.
I said 1-0. That was the first thing I said.
You
1-0.
said you said a stinky 1-0.
Yeah. But obviously, I've said so much in between that it feels like I'm on the fence because I've given context.
I'll take that all day long. I will take 1-0 all day long. Yeah, all day long. 21-22 last time we did the double over them. Man United did go 2-2, but they've just scored again. So it's now 3-2 to Manchester United. Lucky what's-its. Villa bottling it against 10 men Brentford at home. Yep, crazy. Nick, what about yourself? How do you see this one going?
I've been flipping and flopping too, Kate. Look, the city team looks great on paper. We know that, but it's been a refresh. But there's been cracks coming for a long time, man. And, I don't know if it's the charges. They lost against Boda. Stuff has been going on. We've been seeing it for a long time. And I think maybe it's just the chickens coming home to roost. It's not just the financial doping, but it's them trying to gain the system again and again and again. And it's not just, in the league. It's, it's crimes against nature. You can't shave a Sasquatch and play him at center forward and expect it to work year after year, because Squatchies, they don't work in the Premier League. They belong in the Cryptid League with the Mothman and drinking, Dogman and all that stuff. And when you put them out of their element for too long, their head starts to go, and you get the be humble situation like you got with Lego Head over there. So I think that there is a way to get at them, to stop how popular, put Romero on them, get Romero in his face like he loves to do. He loves to stick one on Holland and show him who's boss right there. I think if we come out firing like that, try to nick a goal early, I think it's going to be a crazy game. I think it's going to be a crazy game regardless. I have this feeling. I'm going 3-2 Spurs.
3-2?
Yeah. Wow.
He's scored.
Yeah,
I think there's going to be a pen. Okay. From somebody. I'm hoping it goes to us.
We're gonna get pen. We're gonna get pen.
We never get pens.
Yes, but what we got to do is we got to rile them up. We got to force them to make mistakes, force them to get aggravated. Yeah, they've got a back line that I don't feel is very settled in themselves just yet. And I think Solanke, his goal, as I mentioned to Kate, his goal against Frankfurt, I was like, wow, that was the first time I've seen a real Premier League center forward's goal from somebody on our team, and I don't know how long. It's like he's an actual striker. I know Richarlison scores goals. I don't hate him, but half the time I'm like, where are you, Richarlison? What are you doing? That goal, getting past this man, finding the corner of the net and putting it in like a laser, made me think, all right, listen, this is why we bought this guy. Hopefully he can kick on from here. So I'm hoping Solanke goal, a pen from someone, and a cheeky Paulinho or Romero. One of the two is going to come up with something.
Wait, quick question. Yeah, I know we're ending the show, but quickly, would you lot take a loss if it meant we got Mamouche?
No.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I wouldn't think so. I'm not convinced that Pep Guardiola is
I'll take
signing
a win,
off.
Mamouche.
I thought you were going to say, Ash, would you not take a loss if it guaranteed Arsenal weren't going to win the title? That's what I thought you was going to say.
Which is a different question altogether.
I'm glad you didn't ask that one, to be fair. Jimbo, come on then, Jim. Let's have your ridiculous score prediction. What's it going to be?
I've had it in my head. I've had it in my head all week, 2-0 to Spurs. I just had it in my head, and I've seen that team, right? And I, if you want to know the truth, I'm not really worried about that team because I think that team can get at them, right? And then we're going to be solid with Paulinho and what's his name, Gallagher. So I've had it in my head all week. I don't know why that we're going to win 2-0. So I'm going to stick with that, even though I've seen that team. And I look, it's the same old thing, isn't it, with Tottenham? If they turn up Tottenham, they can hurt teams. But I don't like it when they was against Arsenal. That really cuts me up. It's like a knife in my chest when I watch that. But when they look at the last two Champions League games, how well we played, they can play. So let's keep the faith. 2-0.
Okay, so you've all predicted the win. And I've been the negative Nancy, as usual.
Balance out that household, Jim. Or else we're gonna have to call in a welfare check.
I might put a wedge under the front room door, so she's got to watch it upstairs.
That's all right. I might not watch it at all. It'd probably be better for my mental health if I don't sit and watch it, to be fair. Ash, Nick, always lovely having you on. What's happening at Ash over at Spurs Kings TV?
It's crazy. First of all, I'm trying to make it because I'm still not well. Despite being on here, I'm trying to make it for Monday's show.
Well, what's wrong?
Man flu.
Well, I think I've got some fever. But literally, this is the first I've woken up. It's the first time I haven't had to go to the toilet. It's been coming out on both ends.
Oh no! So
yeah, I've been on Imodium, and but yeah, listen. Hopefully I'll be all right. But yeah, listen, we move. We got a Monday show, so that will be after the window shut. So yeah, check that out. That should be interesting. And then Wednesdays I do Rivals, which would be interesting again, depending on the result.
Yeah, exactly. You
guys,
know what? You can't win because if we win today, they're going to say, yes, you've helped us. And if we lose, they're going to say we lost on purpose. So you can't win.
Yeah, we can win. Just don't give a shit about Arsenal and concentrate on us.
Yeah, that's true. Well, thanks for coming on, Ash. I hope you feel better soon.
Yeah, thank you.
Make sure you'll go and sub to Spurs Kings TV. Nick, I've put the Irish Hotspur out, but have you got any streams coming up?
Oh man, not particularly. You can catch me in the comments there anytime. Catch me in the comments watching you guys of a weekday all the time. And I'll be spending the next 2 hours behind the sofa hoping for the best, man.
So you've all predicted wins, but you're all dreading the game. Say no more.
That's life.
The game, I'm looking forward to it, Kate.
I can honestly say I might need a Imodium after watching it. But you can come to me and Jimbo. We'll be doing a lunchtime show tomorrow about 12:30, bringing you all the latest transfer news. I'm sure there'll be loads of it. So, do feel free to come along. But make sure you sub to everyone because, we're all Tottenham creators and we're all trying hard to make it in the YouTube world. So do sub to everyone. Romero to pick up his 10th yellow card and face a 2-game ban. That would be nice as well.
And score. And score.
And score, yeah. I do think I did do 3-1, but I do think the one goal will come from Romero. I'm just going to chuck it out there. But look, thank you to everyone who's joined us. Make sure you do smash the like on the video, subscribe, hype, like, whatever it is you have to do. Enjoy the match, and we will see you back here. There's no midweek game, is there? No, so it'll be next Saturday morning for the Man United game. Oh my God. Take care, everyone. Enjoy the game, and as always, come on, you Spurs.
Come on, you Spurs.
On you Spurs.